So this is Nas' newest album, and it is a callback to his album Illmatic. Of course, where he had one child. I guess the child grew up and decided to play cops and robbers with AK-47s while with a bunch of his friends, and maybe got stopped by the police, which would tie into the track "Shot the Kid" or "The Cop Shot," which was a track that was on here. But of course, let me start with the background history of Nas. Now, Nas is a person who made one of the best albums of all time, and also, quite frankly, could be argued as the best hip-hop album. It only had 9 tracks and 1 intro, which was Illmatic, which showed that less is more. It was just a creative milestone. Now, of course, he came out with another few albums, and of course, he kind of went pop until Stillmatic, which, the beef with Jay-Z brought back a lyrical ferocity to Nas that we haven't seen in a while. And of course, he came out with a couple of more albums, and he did a album featuring one of the Marleys, of course. That was pretty nice. And now we're here to this album, which is Nasir, which of course is his first name, and he shortened it to Nas. So yeah, and let's talk about this album. Now, Not for Radio should have been called Not for Textbooks, because of course Nas, as the lyrical poet, makes a few history errors. Like, of course, he states that Fox News was made by a black person. No, it wasn't. It was made in 1986 by 2 white guys. He also states that, and I don't even know why you would brag that a black person made Fox News. It's not really the most favorite minorities show, or channel, so a little bit strange. He also states that James Harris was not black or the first black president. Well, he wasn't the first because there wasn't a black president. James Harris was president of the Congress, and he was white, of course. That's a big myth that people need to debunk, like, real quickly, of course, But he states that SWAT was made to stop the Panthers. I don't know whether he's talking about the new Black Panthers or the old Black Panthers, but that's a good analysis. Puff Daddy also does his callback to, of course, Ready to Die, and also Who Shot You, which was pretty nice. But overall, the track, which features like 070 Shake, I don't like it. I mean, it's too much of a tonal shift. Like, Nas is spitting some real serious shit, and then you have 070 doing her silly vocals, kind of get me off the track. And you know what? I gave it a 2.5. Not the best way to start out a freaking album that's 7 tracks, but hey, that's just me. Now, here's a track I really care for, The Cop Shot the Kid, which was sampled from Slick Rick's children's story. And it's a nice track, I have to say. It's one of the best tracks off here. Of course, Nas spits issues like parents burying their children before children bury their parents, which is a very big thing. And especially on a day like this, Father's Day, that really hits my heart right there. Also, he does one of 2 July references where he says July is the month where niggas die, which especially in Chicago is true. Like that, anytime the summer comes, like, all the gangsters run the streets. Oh yes, and Nas has this killer line that said, "Who are you gonna call when the police are doing the drive-bys?" Like, very deep, ominous shit. And also, Kanye spits his story, and it was pretty good. The track is perfect to me. I gave it a 5. Also, I forgot to add this. There was also a Richard Pryor sample that was from a good album of his. It was the track "The Lineup." Go check out the album. All right, so white labels. I was hoping that this track was going to talk how the music industry is shady and you should go independent, but nah, he didn't talk about that shit. Plus, I think he's with a black label, like Good Music, so hey, why would he? Oh yes, Nas says that this track is produced by Slick Rick, which is kind of strange because the last track was produced by Slick Rick, but whatever. He also states this killer line that says, "What you love can kill you," like a person who's a heart physician dying of a heart attack, which is kind of strange when I think about it because a heart physician, like he's actually like made to stop you from having a heart attack. He doesn't love heart attacks. That's like saying that what you love can kill you, like a doctor dying from cancer. Just a little strange thing to add if I think about it. But he drops facts like he was next to the Jet Beauty of the Week 1993. I guess that was referencing his good old days or the good old golden age of hip hop or something like that. He also says that you have to pay $1 million for a Nas feature, and I'm like, I mean, did DJ Khaled do that shit? I mean, you gave him 2, but overall the track is okay. Nothing really surprising or great like that. I gave it a 3.5. Now, Bonjour, of course, Nas talks about how he has Crackheads owing him from 1989, which, I guess Nas sold dope or whatever, I thought that he was more of a person who viewed drug selling instead of being a part of it, but whatever. Oh yes, and that "She Didn't See Me Coming, Now She's an Eyewitness" line was epic, man. It was so damn funny. And I like how he referenced how you're supposed to change your children's lives, and when your children is living lives that's better than you, then you're truly rich. I like that line. Also, the vocalist does this little strange thing where he says Cinderella's right shoe, which, I thought maybe was a slight reference to Cinderella since he kind of sounds like Slick Rick to me, but whatever. I gave it a 5. It's a pretty good track. Now, Everything is the longest track on here. It's about 7 minutes, and of course 2 to 3 minutes of it is Kanye and The Dream pretty much auto-crooning. It sounded good, I'm not complaining. But then you have Nas rapping for a straight 5 minutes, which is a blessing. He, of course, referenced how if the media throws mud at him, he'll build a hut. He slams Western culture and also says that he can sell Alaska to Russia. I know they would like Alaska because it's producing a lot of oil these days. And maybe that was a Donald Trump reference, I don't know. He also referenced Starbucks and Starbucks situation, and he does the second reference to July, as in he's letting his bullets fly in July. And Nas does this little nice reference saying that just because I got your support doesn't mean you're buying me. As in maybe people are bootlegging from him. Maybe people are being too clingy and trying to think, hey, I bought this autograph. I bought this album. You deserve to autograph my shit. Like just humble stuff like that. Just maybe he was referencing that. I gave this track a 5. It's an excellent track. All right, Adam and Eve, he has killer references like you can learn who you are when you're around your family. So true. That sex addiction for a gangster is just common, which, I don't know. I'm not a gangster, but hey, it sounds cool. And he does a Godfather reference, which, back then, like when it came to like gangster rap, everybody would reference the Godfather. So that's a cool callback. I gave the track a 5. It's an awesome track. Oh, I meant a 4, but hey. The ending track, Simple Things, it seemed too simple enough. It's only like 2 minutes, and it's not an epic way to end the album. It was kind of dull and boring. And he does this reference. The only thing that's interesting about the track is he does this reference saying that they want him to sound like the top 40. And I'm like, Nas, you did that with If I Rule the World after Illmatic. Come on, man. But overall, I gave the track a 2.5. So that's my review. I thought this album was great, but the first and the last tracks kind of was dull and boring and very flawed. So please like, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and leave a comment if you want. Peace.